it would be the first 964 in Indonesia that is being backdated. And I said to my wife, be prepared. If we lose it all, it's okay.
Hi Speeders, welcome to another episode of Speeder Talks. I'm your host Michael Hukai, and here kita bakal ngomongin dari bisnis, mobil, and everything else in between. And today we have a very special guest, Stanley. What's up Stanley? Thank you for coming. And of course, kita lagi di Regent Residences, a beautiful 360 view apartment, luxury apartment di Gatot Subroto. So thank you for hosting us, Regent Residences, as always. So before we jump in, mungkin bisa memperkenalkan diri. This is Stanley, teman gue udah lumayan lama ya.
Iya, udah lama. Hai, gue Stanley. Ya, gue temenan sama Mike. Berapa lama Mike ya? Mungkin 5-6 tahun kali ya kita kenal.
5-6 tahun. Ya udah lah. Pokoknya tiap kali selalu you always cook the best stuff. Tiap kali kayak Stanley tuh suka banget kayak hosting dinners di rumahnya. But he's a restaurateur, if I'm pronouncing that right. Jadi ada banyak chain restaurants that you started. Ada apa aja sih? Ada Thai.
Ya,
Thai
kita ada Thai, brandnya Thai Street. Kita ada Korean Barbecue. Ada 2 brand, ada Koba, and recently ada Hongdae, which is our more premium Korean barbecue. Kita ada Italian restaurants, Emilia. Kita ada Steakhouse, Nona. Kita also ada New Yorker pizza called Pizza Head.
Iya. Gue baru cobain, congrats, Hongdae baru buka.
Thank you.
Enak banget waktu itu, gokil. I don't know enaknya gara-gara sojunya, tapi everything is just the company, the food. Really good food, so
Thank you.
You guys should try it.
Thank you.
And if you're lucky enough, maybe one day you'll get invited to his house for a special dining experience. But yeah, before we go into the businesses, mungkin, Speed Clip di sini anak mobil semua, suka mobil. Tadi di bawah we saw your beautiful 991 Carrera 4S.
Yeah.
Warnanya apa sih itu kalau hijaunya?
That's oak green metallic.
Oak green
Yeah,
metallic.
it's a classic Porsche color yang sekarang di reintroduce. Jadi the newer Porsche kayak GT3 itu keluarin that kind color lagi. Tapi it's actually an old color.
It's an old color.
Ya, warna yang lama yang now kan sekarang everything yang old school itu dibuat baru gitu.
Iya. Itu kayak British Racing Green tuh ada beda.
Well ya beda-beda dikit lah. It has a sparkle of gold. Kalau British Racing Green itu sparkle-nya silver. Ya. When you get into very detail of the ini gitu. Jadi metallic-nya tuh beda.
Metallicnya beda.
Ya. Ijonya juga slightly beda. This is the formula kan ini warnanya Porsche lah. Kalau British Racing Green
itu lebih kayak Jaguar.
I don't know ya, either Jaguar or Aston ya.
Aston
Aston.
The British cars lah ya.
Ya.
Kalau ini dari Stuttgart beda. Oke, jadi lu udah berapa lama sih? How long have you had the car? It's like
baru sih, I think setahun ya.
And ever since then, gue sempat lihat kan waktu itu in your apartment, super nice. Lu udah kayak tambahin kayak gold accents tadi gue perhatiin gitu.
Yeah.
It's the little touches, man. Bagus banget.
Yeah, I like little details yang membuat ininya jadi ini. We had ducktail. It doesn't come with the ducktail.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know, the ducktail makes it more old school. Jadi zaman dulu kan kalau yang model-model tua tuh suka racing suka pakai ducktail. So we change into the ducktails. Kita ganti accent gold. Misalnya dari wheelnya, it's a Porsche color, it's a white gold,
white
Porsche
gold
color ya.
Okay.
They call it white gold. It's a Porsche color. So itu buat wheelnya, terus emblem belakangnya kita ganti.
You paint atau beli yang udah warna
We
itu?
paint.
You paint. Jadi
paint.
makannya sama banget
antara
the wheels and the ini. Keren. And then the ducktail itu, did you bring it yourself?
Iya, kita beli. Enggak bikin. Kita beli ada Porsche ada jual itu.
Porsche actually jual ya.
Porsche actually jual. That's right, yeah.
Wow. So why the 4S kalau gue boleh tahu? It's a all wheel, right? All-wheel
yes.
drive?
Okay. Pertama, you know, when I had the intention untuk buy, I of course nanya-nanya orang gitu, nanya-nanya my friend yang udah experience lah. I said, kalau mau get Porsche, which model should I get? And of course pertimbangannya soal budget, soal juga nilai yang bertahan dan juga soal future value. So first I picked 991.1.
Okay.
Kenapa 991.1? It's because it's the last NA engine, naturally aspirated engine.
Yeah.
Setelah itu Porsche tuh udah keluarin dengan turbo gitu.
That's right.
Jadi some said, jadi beberapa teman bilang ini jadi future classics. Although ini kan masih baru, cuman future classics lah, the last NA engine gitu. Ya udah, so kita narrow down to 991.1. Nah, 991.1 tuh kalau 4S tuh di Jakarta sangat jarang.
Jarang banget bro, gue jarang banget.
Iya,
lihat.
jarang banget di 4S. Satu, wider fender, back fender, rear fendernya lebih gendut, jadi lebih bohai.
Nice.
Jadi looks nice and lebih rare. Lebih rare means more valuable aja
course,
gitu sih. Ya.
And harganya juga lately Porsche in the last few years kayak
Yes, it's been
gokil sih.
Yeah. Worldwide ya.
Worldwide, that's right.
dia
Bukan hanya di
ini,
Indonesia doang. Ya.
Dan di Indonesia doang. Jadi ya because of that reason kita narrow it down gitu. Kebetulan ketemu yang 4S, kebetulan ya.
Oh itu kebetulan. Bukan dari teman atau ada kayak
Ya,
teman kasih tahu?
nanya-nanya, one thing leads to another, terus kebetulan ketemu yang 4S gitu ya. Jadi
Tapi
ya,
lo emang eyeing 4S atau lo kayak 991.1 aja deh yang penting.
Jujurnya awalnya 991.1 aja gitu.
So, pasti lo lihat banyak yang putih.
Iya,
Dan
banyak
yang
putih,
S.
dalamnya merah. Ya, I mean not saying
I mean, it's a good
gitu.
spec, cuman
Iya. Tapi banyak yang putih dan dalamnya merah
Yes,
gitu.
yes,
And itu bukan yang I'm looking for lah gitu. Yang gue cari bukan warna itu. Jadi ya gue cari akhirnya ketemu.
Lalu lo nyari waktu itu berapa lama sampai akhirnya kayak this is the one gitu. Lo lihat beberapa mobil.
Iya, nggak lama sih, mungkin 3-4 bulan kali ya.
Oh oke.
3-4 bulan on a constant browsing, constant tanya-tanya, constant ini. I mean sukanya udah lama, tapi kan when I decided terus kayak oke, bisa beli atau mau beli, dan kita cari gitu.
Oh, 3-4 bulan ya. Oh, that's pretty that's quite
Yeah.
lucky.
Iya.
Tapi gue inget banget waktu ke rumah lo, waktu itu lo udah ada nggak ya? But you always had the diecast.
Ya. I'm doing this manifesting udah lama banget. I like Porsches dari gua mungkin kuliah kali ya.
Oh
You
gitu.
know, and I always like doing this manifesting thing. I'm into that stuff.
That's it.
jadi before I own it, and then that was actually a given from my friend Vincent.
Oke.
Yeah, it's nice. Jadi kita sering ngomongin about Porsche, sering ngomongin about cars, and then one day he just said, okay, ini for you gitu. So satu dia kasih, it was a Singer Porsche gitu.
Oh, so nice.
So I put it there, and every day I look at it, I manifesting, one day I'm going to have it.
Bukan hijau though, I remember it was like
Bukan hijau, it was
black, right?
no, it was gray.
Gray, okay.
Gray. And then before I had the car juga, I had the green one. Someone gave it to me juga they know that I like it. I like so much gitu. Jadi kalau ada, I think I get it a small ini ya, model untuk, tapi that's a green one. Gitu, warna hijau gitu.
Oh, ada juga itu.
Ada juga.
Sama lo Legonya juga lo bikin juga kalau nggak salah.
Iya, Lego juga ada. Ya, so I was just manifesting aja.
Apa yang bikin lo suka about Porsche? Because for me personally, it's like acquired taste. Dulu waktu when kita SMA itu maunya kayak Lambo, you know, like the loud cars.
Yeah.
Tapi as you get older, kayak I want more of a proper, you know, sports car. Tuh Porsche comes to mind. Kalau lo kenapa? Why did you like it?
Apa ya? Gue jujur belum dapet feel-nya sama yang lain. I like the community, the people, the story and the art of it gitu. Jadi kayaknya it fits to my personality aja gitu. Jadi gayanya, artnya, story-nya, and not so flashy. To be honest, nggak terlalu flashy. I mean, if you jalan-jalan bawa Lambo di Jakarta atau bawa Ferrari kan semua head turns gitu to you gitu ya, dan suaranya kenceng banget. With Porsche, it could be a regular car. I mean, you can go ini tanpa terlalu noticeable gitu. Ya low key, tapi you know, dia punya power juga. Kalau if you want it ini agak kencengan, ada power juga, ya gitu.
NA jadi kayak instant power lah.
Yeah, and
Natural
I is not the fastest, tapi suaranya is the
Clean,
classic, is a classic Porsche punya suara
Yes,
gitu.
yes. Kalau yang turbo sekarang kayak ngeden dikit gitu, kayak it's held back a little bit. It's
Yes,
not
I mean with the turbo technology, tapi turbo is really fast gitu.
yeah.
It's really fast.
looking
Cuman
for speed, yeah.
jauh lah. Turbo tuh ini. Cuman memang suaranya agak sedikit lebih berbeda gitu. Ya.
Yeah. And how did you find it going into the community and everything else? Kayak you meet new people waktu
Iya. Interesting. You dip your hands, kayak you get really sucked in and go into deep about these cars ya. That's new hobby gitu. Kan sukanya udah lama.
Iya.
Tapi kan kayak now that you're into it gitu, every day you talk about it, Yeah, it's good. I like the Porsches community. I think seperti gue bilang, the people are quite low key.
Yeah.
Some are a bit artsy. Jadi we like the same thing. That's why we like Porsche gitu kayak ya. Jadi we kind of have the same.
Frekuensinya mirip lah.
Iya, mirip-mirip lah. Sama-sama saya suka art, gayanya juga mirip-mirip. It has the old soul gitu
Yeah,
ceritanya ya, agak old soul
Iya,
ya.
iya,
Jadi
iya.
ya ketemu teman-teman baru. I think it's fun.
Aktif lo ikut PCI events?
Enggak, gue nggak aktif ikut organisasi sih, jujur ya sih. Ya cuman
The
gue.
small groups aja ya.
Yeah, I like I like just connecting with a smaller group of people gitu.
Yeah.
Jadi ya that's my preference aja gitu. Jadi smaller group. Tapi ya, I mean because we like the same thing, kita suka the same thing, we talk about the same thing gitu ya. Jadi ya, it's a fun new hobby.
And who doesn't like good food, right? Kayak for you to invite for good food, kayak semua orang pasti suka.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, so your Porsche ini kan udah a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
What are the things that you've done to it so far? Kayak I noticed exhaustnya stock nggak sih itu?
Stock.
Okay.
I really don't do much with this one. Gua only do the coloring. So I do the coloring, which is the oak green metallic. I do the wheel coloring.
Yeah.
I do the ducktail. The ducktail.
Mesin lo nggak utak-atik?
Nggak utak-atik yang ya mesinnya nggak utak-atik. It drives like a everyday car gitu loh. Jadi
PDK, right? PDK,
it's PDK, yeah. No, I don't do the exhaust because
tapi udah keras juga ya stock ya.
Yeah, gue nggak terlalu suka attracting or turning too many heads gitu ya. Jadi suaranya juga gue pikir udah cukup lah gitu loh. Kalau yang itu ya oke sih, cuman you jalan jadi banyak yang ngeliatin gitu. Agak dengan suaranya.
Sekarang sih udah ngeliatin gue. Anak-anak di sini semuanya pasti ngeliatin.
Dengan suaranya. Jadi gue I like it to be ini gitu. Jadi nggak diapa-apain, emblem gitu.
Aesthetic stuff lah.
Aesthetic stuff ya.
Any more plans ke depannya mungkin yang lo bakal gue naksir ini? Karena pasti gue tahu having in a community pasti ada yang ngomporin aja kayak Stan lu ini aja atau lebih ke collectionnya nambah atau I don't know.
Yeah, since my focus lagi building a couple of new projects gitu on the cars project. Jadi gue tuh yang ini gue akan idlein lah. I will keep it as it is lah gitu. Kayaknya udah too much on the other projects gitu.
Okay, so tell me about. So I know lo cerita dikit and I was like, wow, gue baru lihat foto-fotonya. So you have 2 project cars.
Yeah,
nanggung langsung 2 dijalanin. So tell me what do you have?
I'm a big fan dari dulu of tipe 964.
Okay.
Which is Porsche 911 964. 964 itu di tahun 89 sampai tahun 94. That's the era of 964. If you know the movie Bad Boys, Will Smith Bad Boys, nah itu 964. Turbo. And if you know, I think the Transformer yang terakhir juga 964. 964. It's to me, it's such an iconic shape of Porsche, and gue tuh suka banget itu. Gitu.
964. Lo ada diecastnya juga atau enggak? 964 enggak?
Gue ada 964 Turbo, tapi Lego. Tapi itu juga recent lah. Itu recent. Sebelum dapat turbo.
Jadi ini
sebelum dapat turbo ya. Sebelum dapat turbo ya. Sebelum dapat turbo. So I had one 964, and gue juga I mean, gue base-nya kan dulu interior designer. I'm very into design.
Okay.
I love aesthetic. I love design. And there's a company di US that doing pakai 964 and then dia backdated into a 1973 cars. Jadi the company called Singer.
Okay, I think we've heard of that.
Yeah, Singer. Yeah. Jadi
Yeah,
Singer is very famous.
Very
lah,
famous,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Jadi dia took 964,
Okay.
the chassis 964, and then dia backdated or resto mode they call it,
Resto mode,
backdated
yeah.
to 1973 cars gitu. Of course sama dia mesinnya diperfectin, suspensionnya kakinya diperfectin, bodinya diperfectin. So I grow so much in love of that company and in terms of aesthetic karena orangnya juga an artist. He was a musician. He was I think he studied design and then he was a musician, graphic design kalau nggak salah si Rob Diskinson itu. Jadi we share the same sort of taste. So when I had the chance untuk dapat 964. That's what I do.
So you were looking for one atau
I was looking for one.
I was looking for one. You were looking for one.
I was looking for one. And then.
Tapi komunitinya lu udah kenal jadi makin lebih gampang nih dapet.
Yeah.
Ininya, leads-nya ya.
Seek and you shall find kan. so you seek ya. Ya lu cari and then gua cari terus.
Nah itu berapa lama tuh? I'm thinking this is gonna be longer than the
Enggak sih, itu probably 4 or 5 months after I get my green car.
Wow,
my green car. Yeah, and then kan the green udah dibuat, udah ini udah that's it kan, udah nggak diapa-apain lagi. So I will start asking around about the 964 gitu. Mau dong kalau ada. And then I found it. The first thing I do, I'm going to backdate it seperti Singer, how Singer does it gitu. Jadi mobil tahun 91, 92 we backdated to 1973 style gitu.
So what do you need to do untuk backdate?
Super banyak. Super banyak.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. Now that I'm
elektronik semuanya lu bakal.
Now that I'm looking back kayaknya ya kecemplung. If I knew that this journey-nya seperti ini, mungkin I wouldn't do that gitu.
Really? Tapi lu pasti udah online segala macam worldwide lo.
Iya.
Has someone done it before?
No. We learn by doing. So I gua order barang apa.
Jadi nggak ada kayak forum thread kayak gue lagi backdate and then lo kayak use that as the bible to your project gitu, nggak? You literally like nyemplung and.
Iya. Tapi kan di sini ada bengkelnya juga yang sort of ngerti dan kita and then di luaran sana because of the popularity of a singer worldwide, jadi banyak juga OEM parts yang mereka like Singer style or backdated style gitu, resto mode gitu. Ya, jadi ada si Singer, ada ada beberapa company that does that lah. Jadi banyak juga vendornya. Jadi kita tinggal Google and then. But it's a lot of things, the fender, the over fender, bumper belakang, overrender belakang, semua we strip it and then we put the 1973 long bonnet di depan, which is long hood gitu.
Tapi actual body chassis
nggak ada apa-apain ya. Chassis sama pintu. Jadi sisa chassis sama pintu aja. Yang lain semuanya baru.
What?
Ya, semuanya baru.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a long road.
Elektronik segala macam semua
ganti
atau
elektronik sebenarnya nggak perlu ganti, tapi for a 30 years old car, you normally check the wiring, and then kalau wiringnya ada yang kurang bagus atau apa ini kita ganti ya. Kita ganti wiringnya gitu. It's 30 years old gitu mobilnya.
Might as well. Yeah, I just had an issue with that.
Tapi
mobil gua.
Tapi 30 tahun ya you bound to find problems lah itu mobilnya. Jadi ada AC lah, kompresor AC lah.
Kompresor AC kayak mobil gua semuanya bermasalah sih. Dan itu not even 30 years old.
Mesin luckily healthy and nggak terlalu problem mesinnya. Jadi
jadi mesin lo pakai yang?
Ya, gua masih stock ya mesinnya.
A
lot of backdated cars itu mesinnya tuh dipasangin itu, if you know ITB, individual throttle body gitu, that style. Tapi gue belum into that there because the body works, the interior is a complete change, interior dalamnya. Jadi interiornya complete change, kursi seats
lo ganti.
ya, seats kita gue pakai Vallelunga, retrim semuanya, dashboard ganti, ini steering wheel ganti, belakang ganti. Jadi ya, so it's a complete makeover. It's like building a new car, gitu.
Cuman body sama doors.
Ya, cuma body sama doors. So,
Oke.
ya.
Tapi lo dapetnya pertama kali udah it's a full on working car.
It's a working car, yeah. It's a full working car.
Roll strip semuanya.
Yeah.
And the other one is a?
Yeah, the other one sih, the other one was a bit impromptu for me because, I mean, in our generation, our era, we grew up watching Bad Boys to Will Smith, which is also a 964, but it's a turbo, gitu. Jadi when there's an opportunity arise, gitu, when itu ada, I have about one day to think about it, and then I I make a decision to ya, karena I think it's not childhood, but it's more like a teenage dreams lah gitu pada saat. Ya, I always want, and for me it's the holy grail of Porsches gitu. Jadi 964 turbo. Gitu. Ya udah, so I think cepet, and then so I decide to take it. That's my second project.
Yeah. And that was after berapa lama from your first project tuh? Waktu lo, and it came, this one you didn't plan, right?
I didn't plan. I mean, in the back of my mind selalu pengen, karena that's the holy grail, that's the ultimate gitu.
Yeah.
Tapi nggak plan lah gitu ya.
Okay.
But I think that's the result of your manifestation. jadi ya after that, maybe 4 months ya, 4-5 bulan when I get the ini, and then that arise, wah that ada, and then after discussing quickly with my wife, ya udah langsung I decided that I'm going to go ahead. Tapi yang itu I'm going to restore it back, diremajakan aja semuanya, di-restore it back to the original. So
dan itu tahun
tahun 92.
Oh, sama mirip ya?
Tahun 92 ya. Tahun 92. Jadi itu akan hopefully quicker process and easier process ya. Although mesinnya kita overhaul, kita buka semuanya. And then kita rakit lagi mesinnya, and then with the seal yang teknologi sekarang. Supaya, karena it was 30 years ago gitu teknologinya.
Yeah.
So we use the current ini. And I think one thing yang gua update adalah the EVI, I think. The electronic fuel injection.
Okay.
At that time, the electronic fuel injection was not perfect.
I see.
It was karburator lah.
Yeah.
Kalau sekarang yang pakai yang ini. Jadi supposedly,
dan itu not a problem, it's like a plug and play, atau you have to do
it's changing the whole strip of electronic and mechanical of the car. Tapi I think itu akan membuat drivability of the car menjadi much more modern lah, in terms of fuel efficiency gitu.
Yeah. And both manual.
Both manual. Yeah.
Tapi beda-beda tempat ya saat
Iya,
beda-beda
tempat. Beda-beda tempat.
Yeah. Jadi lo,
so we have a engine in the engine specialist gitu ya.
Okay.
Kita ada interior di tempat yang interior, body tempat body. So we split the ini. So everybody's doing their own job, and then after that one will assemble everything gitu.
I see. Gitu. Dan ini with your 991 is a completely different place pasti kan, ini kan classic Porsche and all that stuff pasti beda-beda.
Beda lagi.
Ini dari teman-teman lo nanya nih, gue bawa
it's an experiment. To be honest ya, Sunset, gue nggak tahu ya. Sunset to me, misalnya yang project pertama is it would be the first 964 in Indonesia that is being backdated.
Oke, yang first project itu ya.
First project ya. Jadi belum ada juga bengkel yang actually doing this backdated. Walaupun di luar negeri udah banyak yang backdated ya.
Yeah.
Dan Singer and di Hong Kong, di mana-mana udah banyak lah. Ya, so there's a lot of trial juga and error and looking at YouTube and liatin ini, liatin itu, and making sure that ya semuanya berjalan dengan itulah. Karena kan nggak ada, jadi nggak ada contoh soal gitu, nggak ada contoh ininya. Gitu.
Pioneer lah. in a way.
Ya. Some said to me kayak begitu, cuman ya I don't know whether itu true or not, tapi ya kayak gitu.
So
Kalau
worldwide, I don't know, Indonesia atau worldwide?
Indonesia. Kalau di worldwide banyak.
Udah banyak,
udah
ya,
banyak
ya.
ya.
Wow.
Kalau nggak 964 udah ada, kayaknya 930 atau earlier models tuh ada yang backdated gitu ada. Tapi untuk 964 itu nggak ada yang backdated gitu, katanya gitu. So yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, that's hopefully we'll finish soon. Ya, coba.
So in a period of 1 year, you suddenly have 2 project cars and gila. Alright, so we talked a lot about cars. Kita mungkin shift a little bit about what got you there to own these cars. And I think banyak speeders or our followers yang they aspire, right, to own these cars someday. So I know you own a few restaurants. So tadi apa aja? You had Emilia, you had Nona, a few others.
Yes.
What got you into the restaurant business and how long ago was it? What was the history?
Jadi gua tuh suka. I started off, gua suka masak dari uni times, you know. I didn't realize that. And I also never have impian suatu hari punya restoran atau apa, enggak sih. I just enjoy cooking karena waktu itu sekolah uangnya terbatas dan harus masak gitu loh, in order untuk kita mau makan sesuatu yang kita ini. Jadi I like cooking. And then waktu balik ke Indonesia dan in the journey of my ini gue juga suka desain, interior design. So I design a lot. I set up di Jakarta interior design company, you know.
So that was your first thing waktu lo balik?
Iya, waktu balik ke Jakarta that was the first thing. Jadi I created interior design and then start designing rumah-rumah and mungkin beberapa commercial projects gitu. Tapi along the way teman-teman dan ini yang memang tahu gue suka masak. Karena kan gue juga desain restoran gitu-gitu. Maksudnya lu buat aja restoran sendiri. So, ya tapi gue pada saat itu masih belum gitu. Until one day it clicks to me and gue kayaknya pengen deh buat satu konsep restoran yang gue desain sendiri dan makanannya gue coba try to design the food and then we launch it gitu. That's 2014, that's the start of my F&B journey.
Okay.
Gitu,
2014. Okay.
2014.
And the first one was yang
Pau Pau.
Okay.
Waktu itu Pau Pau, and then we get together dengan beberapa teman yang sudah lebih experience di F&B industry. Gue minta kita joint venture supaya dia bisa bantu untuk manage gitu. Kan at that time I was so new, gue cuma ngerti desain, gue cuma ngerti masak, and gue ngerti makanan gitu. So I didn't know how to do managing a restoran apa, so we get together, kita ini, you jalanin, gue ini gitu.
And what was your role waktu itu? You're more towards
at the beginning gue creating the brand.
Okay.
Jadi so we creating the brand, kita
masih di creative side lah ya.
Yeah, the creative side, gue design the interior, and then kita and then curating the food. Jadi foodnya kita panggil orang sih, cuman kan dimsum and whiskey ya. Jadi makan ini gitu.
Very nice place. Di Senopati kan.
Iya, jadi and then it gains popularity and lumayan terkenal gitu. Jadi and then berlanjut berikutnya gitu.
So after that, what was your second one? And
I think the second F&B which sekarang masih ada, which gue joinan juga, itu adalah Fujin,
oke.
Ya, Fujin, ya. That's my second.
Itu chain atau itu?
Enggak, it's just Teppanyaki and a whiskey bar ya, di Gunawarman.
Iya.
Ya, that's a Fujin. Terus kita sempat buat Lola, tapi Pau Pau sama Lola juga sudah tutup during pandemi.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I berlanjut terus. I created a Thai middle class Thai brand namanya Thai Street.
Yep.
We do have a middle class Korean barbecue namanya Koba. Ya kita buat aja sendiri gitu. And then it grows beberapa outlet and di major mall sampai ke Bali, Surabaya, Semarang, Jakarta, Bekasi, Jabodetabek lah, Tangerang gitu. Yeah, it grows. Ya sampai sekarang ini.
Sampai
Then
sekarang, wow.
lately I created the Italian namanya Emilia.
Emilia, yeah, super
and
good
then
food.
we have Nona, and then
Yeah.
we have Hongdae. Gitu.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you sometimes kayak when we do business, right? There's a point where there's a shift, like a paradigm shift in the way the business is growing. Was that pau for you, atau it was sort of your second and third? Kayak, oh, wow, this is the one yang this is where I'm gonna spend all my energy and my effort and focus on this. Atau it was sort of
Well, I always say this ya beberapa anak-anak yang lebih muda atau yang seek for my advice ya, nanya-nanya gitu. I always say, look, if you want to do something for the first time, apalagi itu F&B, make sure that your first project will be a successful project.
okay.
Karena begitu the first project nggak sukses, it will leave a bitter taste to you, and then unlikely kadang orang kalau nggak persistent enough dia nggak ada second and third project gitu. Or lu nggak punya fuel enough to create the second and the third
Yeah.
projects. Gitu.
Yeah, yeah.
Jadi what I considered lucky pada saat itu adalah my first project, second project, and even third project considerably successful.
Nice.
Gitu. Jadi that creates the momentum.
Yeah.
Gitu.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether I plan it or not, ya I think the universe ya. Maksudnya gue cuman try to do it, and then luckily itu successful. Karena when I look back, kalau itu nggak successful, mungkin gue nggak continue
Yeah.
keep doing that gitu
Yeah,
loh.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Satu memang mungkin my fuel nggak terlalu banyak
Yeah.
gitu, and then
And fuel, we're not talking just about money and
ya
finances.
money,
it's also your
time,
mind
effort,
and
mind, ya semuanya gitu loh.
Yeah.
Jadi I probably stick to the design terus-terusan gitu. Tapi because it's one creates a leap, the other one leap, another one leap, and then it creates a momentum buat gua gitu. And then buat gua kayak, oh, I think I can do this nih. Kayaknya boleh juga nih gua mendalami the guy. Plus I love cooking since I was in uni gitu. Jadi and I go deep into the food, science of the food and the technique and everything.
Okay.
Itu I go very deep gitu. Jadi ya it's like a second nature for me to create and design juga begitu kan. Design I go very deep and I love designing. Jadi jadi begitu itu, and then ya udah itu it's like a ball rolling. Although in the middle we like all of us face challenges of COVID ya.
Of course.
Yeah.
F&B took a big hit.
Big
after
hit,
COVID.
yeah, big hit. Big hit to the point where gua tuh prepare to lose all gitu. I prepare to lose all and to start all over again gitu.
Wow.
Ya gitulah. Tapi persistent, itu udah beda game lah. It's the ball rolling and then you hit ini, and then it's how you persist and how you try to survive at the lowest point of your life kan. Itu yang menjadi membuat what you doing now jadi mungkin lebih ini gitu.
Yeah. You know, I always looked up to you waktu pandemi itu. There are two things yang gue pasti ingat about your businesses. First is you're not afraid to stop when it's time to stop. Ya kan? Some people kalau mamanya doing a business sentimental about keeping it alive and kalau mamanya lu dengerin, okay, move on, let's go, blah, blah. So you're very quick in that. And the second, waktu itu gue ingat waktu pandemi, you moved so quickly with honest food and everything else. Kayak, I always tell my wife kayak gila ya, Stan Amana tuh kayak they're so entrepreneurial and like move-nya bisa cepet. Oke, gue kayak gini. And then ada one point yang waktu itu gue inget banget. At one point you're just like, okay, I'm gonna go on vacation karena ini udah bisa dipegang orang. I'm like, that was so fast. That's amazing. You know, like you have to have that. There was one more thing actually. You have to have that sort of mindset yang, okay, gue bakal buka-buka, and then this is not working. Let's move on to the next one, right? Itu lo belajar, or you were like, okay, this is how business needs to be done. Because F&B is a cutthroat business, right? Not everyone can really run it. Kalau gue ngomong with my friends, it's like you gotta have a special sort of ability to run. Gue aja mikirin inventory management aja dari F&B, gue kayak, I can't even start where to begin, right? What do you think that character is to survive in the F&B business tuh? What is it? Tenacity tadi lo udah bilang kan. What else? Like,
I think what makes you now today is always relates back to your past. Jadi apa yang lu sudah lewati dulu itu yang membentuk lu sekarang ini, you know. So in the past I have a very bukan tough ya, bukan susah, tapi memang banyak perjuangan gitu loh. I was fighting alone di negara orang with considerably limited source of money, penghidupan. I mean, my parents give me a really good a chance untuk sekolah di luar negeri, tapi at that time ya udah gue kasih lo sekolah, everything else you have to survive, you have to ini sendiri gitu. So from the early age of me, dari umur 18, gue tidak pernah stop working at all until today. Jadi gue nggak pernah stop working karena there's always in need of money untuk cari duit untuk prolong my life gitu. Dari dulu, dari sekolah. Kalau gue nggak kayak begitu, gue nggak bisa bergaul, gue nggak bisa makan sama orang karena I need an extra income gitu. So I started working, and throughout my working life ya banyak hal itu yang ups and downs. I think I can be proud to looking back. Gue tuh lulus dengan lulus kuliah itu, gue tuh sudah doing some little work here and there, business here and there, kecil-kecilan during kuliah. Dan waktu kuliah tuh gue punya savings yang lumayan banyak at that time. I think I had about $60,000 or something.
Wow.
$70,000.
Buat anak kuliah that's a lot.
Begitu lulus gue udah ada uang itu. Karena gue
yeah.
cari di sini, gue ini, you know. And then I invest all that money to a business yang within, I think 1.5, 2 years that's gone.
Wow.
Gitu.
So yang interior itu?
Enggak. I had an importing business yang gue import barang, gue jual retail di Australia.
I see. Okay.
And a lot of the hardships actually create instinct to survive. Jadi bisnis lu fail, lu nggak bisa menggaji diri lu, lu nggak ini, then your instinct to survive itu selalu ini gitu. Sama kayak dari mulai kerja juga kan instinct to survive, to ini. Jadi menurut gue apa yang sekarang ya itu gue dapat dari yang kemarin. Jadi my instinct to survive is always there, to create, to survive. And gue kan memang dari dulu gue sudah berdamai dengan the fact that gue tuh tidak cocok untuk bekerja sama orang. Gue tuh kayaknya otaknya selalu nggak sinkron sama my boss gitu, ceritanya gitu. Jadi I always try to find ways gitu. Jadi when the COVID hits, when the ini hits, my instinct of survival jadi ada gitu. Although I told my wife, I said, if we lose it all, at that time gue punya 30-40 restoran.
Wow.
Ya, 40 restoran di Jakarta. Jakarta, Bali, Surabaya, Semarang.
Wow.
And I said to my wife, be prepared. If we lose it all, it's okay. Ya, I'm gonna make it all over again, start all over again. Gue bilang. Oh ya udah, dia orangnya suportif dan dia nggak apa-apa gitu. You know, I cook and buka PO, you know, dari rumah and jualan dari rumah keteng-ketengan gitu kan. You know it, right? Ya.
Super good food though.
from someone.
Best kway teow I've ever tasted.
From someone yang managing banyak restoran and all that, and then I don't really feel anything. Gue nggak berasa malu, gue nggak berasa beban, gue nggak berasa ini, gue cuman create food aja. And lama-lama our operation kok jadi besar. And then all of a sudden during COVID kita punya kayak mungkin 6-7 people working in our apartment to accommodate this food gitu. And then we started doing kita udah nggak bisa move production bla bla bla. So instinct to survive and for me I feel like result is inevitable, tapi effort is yang you always have to be maximum.
Yeah, yeah.
Result itu kayak pemberian Tuhan gitu loh, you know.
Yeah.
If the universe, if God want to give you rezeki, ya you kan rezeki. Kalau lu nggak mau kasih rezeki, ya lu nggak bakal dapat. But effort, you have to put maximum effort.
Yeah.
Jadi gua always put maximum effort. Gitu. Jadi
ada
ya
X
udah.
factor lah ya yang bilangnya kayak ada outliers. There's always you put maximum out tapi there's a X factor yang bakal dikasih atau
Iya, nggak apa-apa. Kami kan you put maximum
Yeah,
effort
as long
gitu
as
loh.
you know you've given your
Iya,
best,
iya,
yeah.
ya udahlah. Maksudnya, what else can you do?
Ya.
You cannot do anything else.
Yeah,
Jadi itu yang gue belajar dari ini, dan juga instinct of survival. Ya, skills you will acquire over time. Ngerti gak? Kan dulu nggak sejago ini, sekarang lu makin lama makin jago, makin ngerti, makin ini. If you doing things over and over, tadi lama-lama kan jago.
Ya.
Ya, tapi character builds ya nggak bisa juga overnight. Character builds ya. Jadi kalau ini karakter, persistence, ulet, kalau orang-orang dulu bilang ulet, tekun.
Yes.
And that's what I think creates ya sekarang gitu loh. Ya.
Wow.
Result ya udahlah, result is you know, ya syukurin aja apapun yang you have, right? Ya, and don't look. Gak usah lihat kanan kiri lah, just look on your ini and be grateful what you have, and just do what you have. And I think that's my inilah pegangan sekarang gitu.
Yeah. And I think character building is very important karena ada juga beberapa orang yang not willing to build. Ya, I'm comfortable here, but you always learn as you expand your business. You always want to learn something new, mistakes that will make you grow instead of making you stop juga kan.
Ya kan titik kepuasan orang beda-beda.
Benar,
ya.
ya.
I mean if the bigger fish look at me, mungkin dia lihat wah lu kecil, tapi ya udah kepuasan gue di sini. But if you compare my life to let's say the Konglo out there, tingkat kepuasannya kan beda lagi, tingkat vision and ininya kan besar lagi, beda lagi.
Yeah.
You know, if I were to talk to them, gue merasa gue kecil banget gitu loh. Ya tapi nggak apa-apa. Ya udah, this is me and this is my life, and apa yang ada di tangan gue kerjain. Apa is my talent and my ini, that's what I do, and I believe rezeki kan datang sendiri, you know. Ya. Having a right mindset aja.
Yeah.
Gitu.
I remember, tadi gue mau bilang one more thing I remember is your multitasking is just out of this world. Because kita waktu itu sempat, we were on holiday together di Bali.
Yeah.
And I think you were still managing something while ordering food for us.
Yeah.
Really good dishes in that Greek restaurant. Gue ingat banget, you were just like, we brought our kids juga kan waktu itu. Tapi lu masih kayak handle, kayak, bentar ya gue telepon dulu kayak sini. Tapi you can still be there with us, you know, kayak out of this world, guys. Tapi that's why when I saw kayak, yeah, you need a certain, you need to be blessed with those skills. But tapi I can see that it was built.
It's built.
It's built throughout the many years.
It's built. Gak ada yang ini. And when you runtutin all your life ya, kalau gue sering runtutin, gue ngeliat kayak every downturn of your life creates character kan.
Yeah.
And that character or any pembelajaran itu yang lu pakai sekarang.
Yeah.
Now you use that gitu loh. It's a life skill that kok lu bisa begini, kok lu bisa begitu? No, gue tuh udah alami those when you do downturns. That's why I said to even my wife now, don't worry about hardship or downturn. Don't get too caught up in the stress gitu. Because that's the life want you to learn, the universe want you to learn things gitu kan. You pakai momen itu to learn gitu. And then when you get the learn, mungkin after that udah move on gitu. Lu memang harus belajar di situ. So hardship now gue memang tapi ya sudah, nggak apa-apa lah. Memang gue harus belajar nih gitu. Gue harus belajar sabar, misalnya menunggu sesuatu atau mendapatkan sesuatu tapi belum dapat, tapi have work for it ya, gitu aja gitu. But manifesting, you'll get it. Manifesting, you'll get it. I'm a true believer.
So
gitu.
manifesting, let's define it, right? It's actually not just dreaming, but sort of planning your way towards that dream. Atau what is your definition of manifesting? Karena people have different
Sometimes I
views.
don't work towards that, jujur aja. I mean, believe it or not, dulu kan orang bilang kayak, ada yang bilang 6 and then you shall find, itu satu. Kedua, you keep it in your head, ntar lama-lama it will appear magically somehow, somewhere, someday gitu loh. So I'm a true believer of that gitu. Tiba-tiba, jadi gue taruh aja. Jadi jangan pernah lupakan your dreams gitu.
I see.
You never forget about your dreams. You keep it in the back of your mind aja while you do your current thing. Jadi gue tuh nggak terlalu suka beriming-iming ke depan. Gue tuh sukanya kerjain apa yang di depan mata. And that while keep the dream in the back of your head. Nah, jadi ya nggak apa-apa, jalan aja. And then believe aja one day when the time is right, I think ini. Dan jujur dari gue kecil, I remember, cause gue lahir di Irian Jaya, you know, with a very modest family. Tapi dari kecil, everything yang gue taruh in the back of my mind, and yang gue mau, and yang gue ingat, always terjadi. Tinggal waktunya aja kapan. Always terjadi. Jadi makanya orang ada bilang kan, be careful
what you wish for.
What you wish for. It will terjadi.
Yeah.
Tinggal waktunya aja kapan gitu. Jadi ya, I mean regardless lu put itu, tapi yuk kerjain aja gitu. Ntar one day terjadi. I'm a big believer of that. Jadi gua and my wife sekarang now it's a big believer. Jadi kalau hardship, udahlah just tackle it, just kerjain aja. Kerjain aja terus, kan kerjain yang kecil nanti dipercayakan yang lebih besar.
Yes.
Lebih besar. And that's my motto sih.
Nice. I know one more thing actually. Waktu itu we had a discussion, the importance of gut feeling atau whatever it is that you want to feel.
Yeah.
Especially kalau mamnya buka restoran, you have 30-40 outlets waktu itu, which is insane. What is that gut feeling and how has that contributed to how you run your businesses? And how do you define that?
Gue tuh sekarang I believe, I'm very spiritual, ya. Not necessarily religious gitu ya, tapi spiritual. I believe about higher being. I believe about, you know, some people call it guardian angel. I believe the life after the afterlife gitu. Jadi I believe someone is guiding you all the time, every day, all the time, and ini. And how do they speak to you? Is they speak to you through your feelings. I believe. Jadi gua tuh banyak menyingkirkan fact sheets. Wah, kan biasa orang suka fact sheets-nya. Oh ya, ini begini. Gue sekarang banyak menggunakan feelings. Feelings meaning I come to, misalnya gue ada satu tempat, satu lokasi, I like it, I come. And then I question, I tanyain gimana ya, bagus nggak ya? And I start talking aja gitu. And then normally I will say, oh okay, I think you know. Sometimes in your heart, kalau you feel lega. And many times I make that kind of decision yang kayak sesuatu yang gue udah pernah bayangin in the past, tiba-tiba datang di in front of you. That's why the quick decision. This is the quick decision gitu. Kalau gue, that's why the quick decision gitu. Kalau gue udah sampai, aduh gimana over a week or two, gue nggak akan lakukan.
I see.
Karena gue berasa I'm contemplating.
I see. Okay.
And normally the decision yang gue quick itu biasanya, and gue langsung berasa, this is it. Okay. And that happens in many of my decision making in my business ya.
Interesting.
Yeah. Even in my house, business, apa ya gitu-gitulah.
Yeah,
gitu.
I'm sure. Jadi it's not just within business, it's a life.
Yeah, it's a life. And then gue datang, gue tanya. Biasanya gue ngomong, gue tanya gitu. Gimana ya? Itu what do you think? And normally you feel it gitu. Yeah. And that has been my guidance of life.
Wow.
Ya, jadi menurut gua ya that's gut feeling itu yang perlu lu latih. Sometimes you need to, you know, I also try to remind myself to slow down and listen. Because I believe you know, universe is always trying to tell you something. Tapi if you don't stop and listen, lu bisa miss out on that and you'll burn your fingers, right? Not just money wise, tapi time, effort, you know, gitu.
Wow, that's
Ya
powerful.
gitu. Jadi gue ya ya gitulah. As you
Nice.
grow older, you go a bit wiser.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're still relatively young. So
Yeah,
a long way to
I
go.
know. Older than before.
Yeah, older than
before.
yesterday for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But oh man, well, we got a lot of insights from Stanley. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
bro, for coming into Spirit Talks.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the talk. Hopefully, we can catch up with your projects, the 964 and the 964 Turbo.
Yes.
Well, stay tuned for that. Maybe we'll post some progress pictures or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, thanks again, Stan.
Thank you.
For being here. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. Kita bisa sampai malam ngomongin
Yoi.
spiritual stuff.
Wah, it's exciting stuff.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned for more, guys. Thanks to Region Residences for hosting again. And, stay subscribed. And if you're interested in the unit, just send us a DM. But stay tuned for more episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you.